Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Aqueduct on Sunday is the $100,000 Ruthless Stakes. 3-year-old filly is going 7 furlongs. Before we get to the analysis, great opportunity to sign up for a DRF Bets account, because when you do, you get to double your first deposit up to $250. Learn more at drf.com/bet. Here's the field for the Ruthless, and it's a pretty full field at that. Love of My Heart, recent maiden winner from Mark Casse, 5-2 on the morning line. Miss Marissa dropping out of a couple of graded stakes races. Your 3-1 second choice, Panthera Orca, shipping in for Laurel. First time Brad Cox, third choice at 7-2. Let's start with the Timeform US pace projector. Kind of a tough race, I think, to project the pace, Mike. Cruz Dans, the 5, is expected to make the lead, but it's not like she's a blazer. Miss Marissa's cutting back from 1 1/8. I'm not so sure she has to be up on the lead. I think that the morning line favorite, Love of My Heart, well, her hand's forced, I think, from the inside.
I guess she'll go forward here. I thought the pace was pretty tough to decipher. There were plenty of horses with speed in here, but it's not like it's a bunch of horses who, so far anyway, have shown that they just want to be out there on the lead.
Well, let's start with the favorite, the number 1, Love of My Heart, who made her dirt debut in start number 3 most recently. We'll take a look at that race right now. She was on the outside on the backstretch, split horses in the pink down towards the inside, and she's going to beat 2 next out winners. Both the second and third place finishers came back to win. I thought this was a nice building block performance for a well-bred filly. I'm not worried at all about the 7, but she's going to have to step up and do it against winners for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, she makes sense in this race. I sort of get why she's favored off of a 69 buyer. She has a dirt pedigree, so I wasn't surprised that she handled the switch last time. Listen, I thought she ran fine, Dan. The second and third finishers both did come back to win. I don't think either one of them is very good, but they did both come back to win their next starts. It was a quality win for this horse.
Interesting invader, the number 2, Panthera Orca, who sold for $175,000 last month at the Joe Besecker Dispersal at Timonium. This horse was the beaten favorite most recently over a sloppy track at Laurel. We're going to watch that race right now, and she's on the far outside trying to make up just a lot of ground, and she does make up some ground to finish second. I thought this was a very promising effort from this daughter of Super Saver, and she at least has experience going 7 and a mile, so I think she's ready for this distance.
I thought she ran well in this race. Her debut was pretty good too at Penn National, where she took money that day because she does have a pretty nice pedigree, and she sort of was in a long battle there before she got clear. I thought she ran well in that race we just watched, and she was never going to win that race, but I like the way that she was staying on to the end.
Beaujule tried winners last time out. Not a great effort, beaten 9 lengths. I thought that was an okay field of fillies she was facing. The buyers have been going the wrong way in the last 3 starts. She's probably going to have to run a lifetime top against this competitive field.
She's probably going to have to improve to win. I personally think she's better than she looks on paper. I thought she ran well in each of her first 3 starts. And I just thought she had a big excuse last time. Not only was that a good field, but she did not break well from the gate at all and was far back early. She actually made a run around the turn to at least get into range, and she flattened out a bit at the end. But I think she's a little bit better than she looks on paper.
Well, Brush My Tooth is the number 4, and this horse was a winner 2 starts back at Parks. First starts against winners, came over muddy going at Laurel. We're going to watch that race right now. Well, Brush My Tooth is going to finish a rallying third in here. I thought it was an okay performance. She didn't have to like the muddy going. She's on the far outside right now. She came out of this race with a bullet workout.
I want to give her at least one more race. I didn't think she ran great in this race, but it was a wet track. Maybe she can do a little bit better. She won easily 2 starts back when she just got absolutely loose on the lead. I thought she was interesting on her first race because she had a lot of trouble in that race in a couple of different spots and actually ran pretty well. I think there might be something here with this horse.
Cruz Dans has experience at Aqueduct. This Laurel maiden winner raced at the Big A most recently and just missed by a nose in a good performance. Let's watch that race right now. She's going to dive down towards the inside and make this very close at the end. Career best buyer of 66. Maybe she moved up on a sloppy track, but something tells me that Cruz Dans is the kind of filly with good tactical speed, can work out a trip, and won't have a problem with the 7.
I can see her getting a good trip in this race. Maybe that'll be all it takes. Listen, she ran okay in this race. I don't know if the horse that she just misses to is that good. That was compensates first ever start on the main track. And listen, Cruz Dans got right through on the inside. She had every chance in that race and just got pipped at the end. I guess she ran okay. I was kind of against her in this spot.
Trainer Gary Gullo, one of the more underrated horsemen in New York, having yet another good meet. And he sends out the recent maiden winner, the number 6, the New Miami. We'll take a look at the New Miami's win. This was against New York-bred maiden claimers. I didn't think it was a very strong field. It didn't come back a very strong buyer, only a 41. She's in the white noseband in front.
Yeah, she's going to get it done in this race. In her second career start, as you say, it didn't come back fast. It's not much of a field that she's beating. It feels like she's in a little tough here, but if nothing else, just the fact that a guy like Gary Gullo, who is so good at what he does, elects to run this horse in the Ruthless, it made me take a second look.
The 7 is Wicked Amber. She has a lot of experience, 7 starts on her resume, but thus far it appears her preferred surface is turf. She won her maiden sprinting on the grass 2 starts back. No match for Cruz Dans last time out, although I don't think she liked that sloppy track at all. I'm going to be waiting until the spring till they get her back on the turf.
Yeah, the problem with her is in all 4 of her dirt races, she just hasn't really run that well at all. She won 2 back on the turf in a race that totally fell apart. Maybe this race will fall apart for her too, but it feels like that's going to have to happen.
Wiggle and Jiggle, the number 8, didn't beat a strong field 2 starts back at Laurel. She was in for the $16,000 tag, but she did it the right way, working out an inside-out trip, dominating by 8. It was a race that was faster than the Colt division of 16,000 maiden claimers. Last time out, she ran into a pretty decent horse, a horse that came back to run 3rd in the Gin Talking with a 69 buyer, then 2nd in a starter optional with a 70 buyer, private purchase since that race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she does. I'm a little interested in this horse in this race because she took a big step forward. I know it was only maiden 16s, but she took a big step forward when she won second time out. And I thought she ran well again last time, Dan. I don't know what you thought about that race of Laura on the sloppy track. I thought she ran well, though, purchased by very sharp connections, turned over to Linda Rice. I'm going to use this horse.
Miss Marissa, winner 3 starts back, going a 1-turn mile, was able to set the pace that day, took a little bit of pressure, and then just drew away and won very, very easily. They stepped her up into 2 tough spots. She probably didn't belong in either the Frisette or the Demoiselle. Back to earth here in what is basically a non-winners of 2 life race. This is some big class relief.
She makes a ton of sense in this race just based on the class lines. The only win, the one thing to at least keep in mind with her is the only win with the 77. She was riding the strongest of strong rails that day, got right to the front. So it makes me a little wary of her, but she's dropping out of 2 graded stakes. Prior to the maiden win, she was a pretty good second to British Idiom. There's plenty to like about this horse.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Ruthless, race number 7 at Aqueduct on Sunday. You're going with Bay Jewel. You think she's dirtied up. She didn't have the easiest trip last time out. John Toscano sending out some live horses at Aqueduct right now. And if this pace gets a little bit hot, I don't even think she needs a hot pace. I think if she breaks, and that's a big if after last time, she can get close.
I agree with that. I think all those things are true. Listen, she's not the likeliest winner of this race by a long stretch, Dan. But I just thought this was such a wide open race. I wanted a price, and I do have a little thing for her. I think she's better than she looks on paper.
15-1 on the morning line for Mike Beer's top selection, the 3 Bay Jewel. I liked what I saw from Love of My Heart in the maiden win. This is a next logical step up. I agree with Mike that the 2nd and 3rd place finishers not very good, but at least they did come back to flatter the performance somewhat. I think she gets close to the pace under Declan Carroll. Mike's going 3-2-8-1. I'm going 1-5-8-2. It's $100,000. It's the Ruthless on Sunday, and it has an approximate post time of 3:53 Eastern. Good luck.